It is time now for the Peter Channel 6 o'clock news, and it's Friday evening, August 19th, 2016. Good evening, everybody. I am Peter Wiggins, and I your 6 o'clock news and odds on this Friday evening. Top story at 6 o'clock is Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where Governor John Bel Edwards says short-term housing and food is on the way to victims of catastrophic flooding in South Louisiana. The Zika virus has been linked to severe birth defects, including microcephaly, set to surface in Brazil about a year ago. Now, according to Florida officials, Zika found in South Beach and Spray not practical. Donald Trump's presidential campaign endured another day of internal disruption on Friday when Paul Manafort was a campaign chairman and sought to build bridges with the Republican establishment by encouraging a more tepid and consistent. Rio de Janeiro, Ryan Lochte is more victim than villain, and he did not die about being robbed at the gunpoint, the American attorney told USA Today Sports. Los Angeles, at least 96 homes and more than 200 other structures, sheds, barns, and garages have been destroyed by a large wildfire east of Los Angeles, fire officials said on Friday. Federal judges rejected a request for the force Hillary Clinton has submitted a sworn deposition in a suit that related to her private email server, ruling instead that she must respond to a written questions about the issue. Strasbourg, France. An Orthodox Jew was stabbed in his stomach in broad daylight at the French city of Strasbourg on Friday. Local authorities said by an attacker who several witnesses said it should order an Islamic religious phrase. U.S. withdraws staff from a Saudi Arabia dedicated to Yemen planning 3 days after Russian long-range bombers struck targets in Syria after a launching from an air base in Iran. New satellite imagery at the base suggests that Russia could maintain a small presence there for the near future. Can one photo help end the war? That's what people are wondering about the image of a little Syrian boy covered in head to toe in a thick layer of dust, his face bloody, and he sits in a bright orange chair. Chihuahua, Mexico. Accused Mexican drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is waiting an extradition to the U.S. Maine to be headed back to the prison he broke out of last year. Seoul, North Korea slammed Operation Combat on Friday, calling it a South Korean film star. Liam Neeson, an example of anti-Pyongyang media. So, the U.S. Navy Secretary met with the South Korean Defense Minister on Friday, from the bilateral alliance. Moscow, China's expanding military role in Syria prompted a suggestion from the member of Russia's Duma to form a non-NATO anti-terrorism coalition of countries. Matt Bissonette, a former Navy SEAL member who wrote in the account of the raid that killed Osama bin Laden, agreed Friday to forfeit $6.8 million of book royalties. Newark, New Jersey. The officials say the driver who killed when two commuter buses collided was a longtime worker. As riots raged in Milwaukee, the county sheriff took to Twitter Black Lives Matter. David Clark worked with his $250,000 Falls, Richard Clinton Black Lives Movement. State College, Pennsylvania, police say the body of missing Penn State professor has been found in a quarry, and another man is charged with driving him there and pushing him to his death. Monterey County, California. Crews found a month-long cloud for wildfire have come across perhaps more than expected to find a legal marijuana operation deep in the forest. Washington, it would be apparently improbable, Tennessee, but stuff doesn't have the right stuff according to the Federal Elections Commission. Washington, Bill Clinton celebrated his 70th birthday Friday, the start of a new year, which he could have had another job title to his resume that a first dude. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Donald Trump and his running mate Mike Pence visited Flood Rouge, Louisiana, comforting homeowners and criticized President Obama for not being there. Viacom 6 turnaround and new board interim CEO Dooley. Nobody at IEX Group has done more to prepare, amend, and defend the company's application to become a new kind of stock exchange than Sophia Lee, its general counsel. Traders working on it for in the New York Stock Exchange shortly after the open bell in New York, US. As global stocks fall in the light, trading as dollar rises on FedEx bet. Alright, the stock down 45.30 points at 18,552.57. SP 5 down 3.15 points at 2,183.87. And NASDAQ down 1.77 points at 5,238.38. John Deere tractors sit on display kind of equipment as a John Deere shares jumped 30% plus past street boost forecast. New York. Crude oil prices entered Friday in steady territory after the release on exploration and production trends that economic data show little momentum. Washington. U.S. offshore energy regulators said they'd seek an independent on a potential to offer more than $70 million acres up from the drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Stavanger, Norway. Norwegian energy company said Friday they plan to spend more than $100 million to tap a new oil and gas discovered in the North Sea. London, after the Bolson Independential and the Northern Waters of the North Sea, a British energy company reported mixed results from appraisal well. Jeff Holmes planned their expedition 40 and found energy. Kate Rubin successfully installed the first international dock and conducted the International Space Station today. And ranges where data about people's welfare is expensive to collect or do not publicly available, and international organizations are increasingly turning to satellite images to fill in the gaps. A microscopic parasite has ravaged the fish population in the Yellowstone River in Montana. Prompted state officials banned water-based recreation along a 183-mile stretch of the river and all of its tributaries. When scientists tallied the temperature readings from around the world last month, that is what they discovered July 2016 was the warmest month we ever observed on our period. A record that dates back to 1880, says Jake Retch, a climate scientist. United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is working on packages that will provide material assistance to climate victims in Haiti. A spokesman said on Friday strongly indicated for the first time that hundreds of thousands of people. Many reported cases of serious eye damage result from misusing contact lenses, including sleeping in them or wearing them beyond the recommended use of report released Thursday by the Centers of Disease Control Prevention suggests. The human papillomavirus vaccine is the only vaccine invented exclusively for the purpose of preventing cancer. Yet a decade after its approval, the vaccine continues to struggle from a PR problem, and it's shown that study that finds just 1 in 5 parents. Pregnancy-related deaths in Texas nearly doubled in 2011 in September. The United States' abysmal maternal mortality record. The pregnancy-related death rate in Texas nearly doubled between 2010 and 2012, the same time period that state severely. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell has no recollection of dinner conversation confirmed by Hillary Clinton of FBI agent says, documented by journalist Joe Kenson from Comic Book New York, the charitable foundation developed by former President Bill Clinton will no longer expect foreign and corporate donations if Hillary Clinton is elected president and will hold its final annual Clinton and Global Initiative meeting in September. Donald Trump promised Friday that if elected president, he'll win 95% of the African American vote in his re-election effort. Take a look at some local news around the Attleboro Sun. The Attleboro, the city's police department has stepped up traffic enforcement with the help of grant money. The program, which will run by September and is being administered by Lieutenant Jeffrey Rogers, consists of 3 phases, which will take place randomly. Police Chief Kyle Haganey said, targeted traffic law enforcement officials will conduct enforcement of speeding, red light violations, and property turns and other violations in areas where there is increased pedestrian activity. Crosswalk decoy operation. Police will use a plainclothes officer to enforce crosswalk laws, and enforcement of traffic laws requiring vehicles stopped for school buses picking up and are dropping off students and will. North Attleboro, a medical marijuana operation opened in a setup shop in North Attleboro, made it pitch left on Thursday, promising tight management while facing skepticism from some officials. Boston prosecutors can examine the cell phone owned by former New England Patriots player Anthony Hernandez for possible evidence to his upcoming double murder trial. The highest court in Massachusetts will Friday ended a long-running legal battle. Attleboro planning to impose an impact fee on a constructed the city's transit-oriented development zone to get some pushback from the Attleboro Redevelopment Authority on Thursday. Attleboro, the Literacy Center held its annual graduation Thursday night at Wamsutta Middle School. Woburn, Massachusetts, a Wilmington nurse man charged with forging prescription for thousands of painkillers using the names of their relatives. Marjorie Taylor was arraigned Thursday on a 35 counts of uttering false prescription. The 29-year-old has been released on her own recognizance. Authorities say Taylor saw a physician's prescription pad while she was visiting a patient. They say she used it to fill out bogus prescription form period last year. Boston Women Police say it doesn't have a driver's license, has been held on $5,000 bail after pleading not guilty of running down 3 pedestrians walking Boston's Freedom Trail. Peter Childers Arms now 6:08 p.m. on this Friday evening, and New England Literature 3 hours ago in Winall, Vermont. A major accident on Route 30 in Old Town Road. Surfaces of 3 carbon. Motor after entrapment, there was a reported minor injury. And now look at your sports at 6:08. Tonight, the Boston Red Sox will take on the Detroit Tigers in the second of a 4-game series at Comerica Park in Detroit. Spain gave the U.S. almost all it could handle, including Pau Gasol's valiant effort, but the U.S. played a tighter game down the stretch in advance of the Sunday's gold medal game. For the second straight years, Pittsburgh Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell has a suspension from the NFL, reduced for the regular season starts. Arizona Cardinals and San Diego Chargers could be going in more opposite directions. Former once an NFL livestock appears poised to make another deep playoff run. Holly Webb made no mistake in scores. Great Britain won gold. It took a lot to conquer, but the girls made history there. The Olympics are supposed to be trends and politics, but some games are more successful than that others. At 5 facts, while Dennis raced away at the start of the men's 50-kilometer race, walk 12 played a more patient game and waited until the last 10 minutes of the race before taking the lead. Better tell news time is now 6:09 on this Friday evening, and it's time now for a travel and transit report. Let's start off on the MBTA, where the Green Line's pitch and modulated to the signal problem at North Station. Orange line spreads boundary lanes between Ruggles and Roxbury Crossing between now until Sunday. So on S-Bar spreads moderate lanes due to traffic on the commuter rail. Please board inbound Western Line trains and outbound platforms at West Station Park, Wellesley Farm stations at 7:30 p.m. Please board outbound Western Line trains and outbound platforms at Wellesley Farm West Indian stations at 7:30 p.m. Greenwich Line train 287 is spotted and it's operating 5:50 minutes past schedule at 5:45 p.m. due to a mechanical problem. And Middleborough Lakeville train 021 5:12 p.m. from South Station is not expected to operate 35 minutes late between South Station and Middleborough Lakeville stations. Rockport train 122 5:45 p.m. from Rockport is operating 10-20 minutes late behind scheduled between Gloucester and North Station due to a signal problem. And ferries on the Charlestown Ferry notice, please use Constitution Period 1 for commuter ferry service until further notice. Alright, looking at the highways and byways and New York City Highways Us logo. In Connecticut, 95 minutes southbound side, back to the Sanford stretch and the Greenwich stretch. 95 stop and go from Greenwich all the way at the Bridgeport, then hit race again from New Haven all the way at the Guildford. 95 minutes southbound side, back to the Guildford stretch. 95 to the northbound side, back to the Old Saybrook to New London. 95 minutes southbound side, back to the Old Saybrook stretch. 84 eastbound side is back to Denver to Newtown. Hit breaks again around the Waterbury stretch on IE from eastbound and westbound sides. 91 on the southbound side, Little around 691 and Meriden. 91 on the northbound southbound side, also Suffolk 84 in Hartford, Connecticut. 84 eastbound side is backed up around 291 in East Stratford. 91 on the northbound side is backed up from 57 to 291 in Springfield. And out in central Massachusetts, 84 Mass Parking on the westbound side is backed up 120 west of the I-84 in Sturbridge. 84 westbound side is backed up from Charlton and Sturbridge from 90 to 20. 495 on the southbound side is backed up from Milford to Franklin. And then hit breaks again on 495 on the southbound side from 95 in Foxborough all the way after 140 in Mansfield due to Blink 182 concert tonight at the Xfinity Center. So expect some delays and detours around the area of 495 and 140 in Mansfield. 95 on the southbound side is back to 120 Canton all the way after Route 295 in Attleboro. 95 on the northbound side is back to Edwards Avenue to Route 146 in downtown Providence. 146 on the northbound side, so after 295 in Lincoln, Rhode Island. 195 on the eastbound side is back to Somerset all the way at the Fall River. Route 3 on the southbound side is back to Marshfield all the way to Plymouth Plantation Highway. 24 on the southbound side is backed up after Route 128 out in Canton. Zooming out in the Boston vicinity, 495 on the southbound side, so from Hudson to 290 in Marlborough. 495 on the southbound side, Little so just after the Mass Pike out in Westboro. 120 on the southbound side is backed up from 135 in Needham all the way at the Route 24 in Randolph. 120 on the northbound side is backed up the split all the way at the 24. Route 3 on the southbound side is back to the Main Tree split all the way at to Drury Street in Hingham. South is the expressway and the southbound side is back to the Quincy to Braintree. South is the expressway. Southbound side is back to the Mass Pike all the way at to Dorchester. Mass Pike eastbound side is also from South Boston all the way at to Lowell Airport and the eastbound side. Westbound side is slower than Ted Williams Tunnel. Route 1 on the northbound side is back to the Revere all the way up in the Route 120 Linfield. 93 on the northbound side it is slow from Stoneham all the way at Route 120 Redding. Route 3 on the southbound side is backed up around the Burlington stretch. 120 on the northbound side is backed up Woburn all the way out to Route 1 in Peabody. 120 on the southbound side is also just around the Redding stretch. Up north, 3 on the northbound side it is backed up from Lowell all the way to Chelmsford around Route 40. 495 on the southbound side is backed up Lowell all the way to Chelmsford. 495 on the northbound side back to Lowell down to Tewksbury and then hit back again from Lawrence all the way up to Route 213 in Methuen. 213 on the eastbound side is backed up in the Methuen stretch. 93 on the northbound side is backed up from 495 on Lawrence all the way to 213 in Methuen. Down in Southern New Hampshire, 93 on the northbound side is backed up from Windham, New Hampshire all the way up to Derry, New Hampshire. Every turnpike on the northbound side it is backed up in the Nashua stretch. Route 101 on the eastbound side, Little around 28B in Auburn. 95 on the northbound side it is backed up on Portsmouth, New Hampshire stretch into Kittery, Maine. Main turnpike on the northbound side, so after York Toll Plaza all the way to Algonquin. And 93 on the northbound side is backed up in Hookston, New Hampshire down to Canterbury, New Hampshire. 89 on the northbound side it is backed up Warner, New Hampshire. Spalding turnpike on the northbound side it is backed up in Rochester, New Hampshire. Up in Maine, 295 on the northbound side is backed up from Falmouthsburg and Portland headed towards Freeport. But highways and byways of Maine are looking good. Up, it's just slow down on 295 from Portland up to Freeport, Maine. 89, 91 on the southbound side also at the Canadian border up in Vermont. And 89 northbound side also before the Canadian border up in Vermont. And 87 of the slow on both ends around Route 11 in Champlain around the Canadian border. And Autowood 59 on the northbound side is backed up after the Route 11 in Southern Quebec headed towards Montreal. Okay. Look at that. 87 on the northbound side of the so from Aldi headed towards Silver Springs. Peter Cho's is now 6:15 on this. Friday evening news. Time now for a weather report. And look at that. The latest on Fiona. 40 mile per hour winds with an 18.1 in the north, 44.4 to the west. And maximum sustained winds about 40 miles an hour. And Fiona weakened slightly. There are no coast watches warning in effect at 5 p.m. Central Time. Center of the tropical storm Fiona was located near latitude 18.1 in the north, 44.4 to the west. Fiona is moving toward the west-northwest near 10 miles an hour and is mostly expected to continue with some increase in forward speed for the next couple of days. Maximum sustained winds have decreased during 40 miles an hour with higher gusts. Some leadership weakness forecast during the next 4 hours. And Fiona is expected to weaken toward direction over the weekend. And tropical storm Winston was 45 miles per hour from the center. Minimum central pressure is 1,007 millibars, 74 inches. As I'm expecting this to weaken and then disappear into a low pressure system. Meanwhile, another one. A tropical wave located about 600 miles southwest of the capital Verde Islands was producing a disorganized area of cloudiness and shower activity development. If any during the next couple of days should be slow to occur in the system and cause a dry and stable area mass. After that time, environmental conditions are expected to become more connected to development and a tropical pressure could form early next week while the system moves westward about 15 miles an hour. Across the tropical Atlantic Ocean. Formation chance for 4 hours. Low 10% formation chance for 5 days. Medium at 50%. Meanwhile, back home, fantastic Friday afternoon store. After activities are good to go. Alright, 7-day forecast goes like this. Tonight, patch back after 5 a.m. was mostly cloudy skies during the early evening, then becoming mostly clear skies about 61 degrees southwest about 5 miles ago, becoming a common evening for Saturday, patch back for 7 a.m. was mostly cloudy about 84 degrees south, facing about 3 to 6 miles an hour. Saturday night, forecast go about 62 degrees south, about 5 to 7 miles becoming common after midnight. For Sunday, forecast go about 82 degrees slight south, east wind becoming south wind 5 to 10 miles in the morning. Saturday night, chance of showers before 11 p.m., then a chance of showers at thunderstorm between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., then showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm after 2 a.m., mostly cloudy skies lower at 68 degrees south, about 69 miles at chance range to 7%. Monday, chance of showers at thunderstorm before 8 a.m., then a slight chance of showers between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m., forecast about 80 degrees, chance range to 30%. Monday night, most cloudy skies about 54 degrees. Tuesday, sunny cloudy skies about 79, low about 56 degrees. Wednesday, sunny most cloudy skies about 84, about 62 degrees. Thursday, sunny most cloudy skies about 85, about 64 degrees. And for Friday, most likely about 86 degrees. Currently in Not Near, it is 82 degrees. The humidity is 65%, and it's clear skies with a few clouds. That is going to be it for the Peter Channel. 6 o'clock news, and it's August 19th, 2016 on Friday evening. I'm Pierce. Have a good evening, a good positive day to all. Looking forward to see you with a 11 o'clock late hour report. Have a good evening.